Welcome back to the 12 Talk podcast, the UK Seahawks official podcast. My name's Josh, and this right here is my co-host, my partner in crime, Mitch. We have got some fantastic things to discuss with you today. We've had a little bit of a break. It's the off season. We're allowed. Thanks to everyone for joining us. But today, as you can see from the title, Return of the SHAQ. SHAQ. There you go. We're going to be talking all about Shaquill Griffin's return. What does that mean to our cornerback room? And also, are there more free agents in Seattle or around the league that we could be looking at? Mitch has got some fantastic stats and facts. We're also going to announce our new sponsor partner today. And I'm so excited to do this as a UK-based NFL podcast. Something like this is so beneficial for us, and we really, really hope you guys get on board as well. But Mitch, shall we hit the theme music?
Let's do it.
Back again. I've missed doing this, Mitch. It seems like ages. You know, when you have like a week and a half break and you just think, because we've been trying to do a podcast for a little bit now and then it's just not come to fruition. So we're back. Thanks to everyone for joining us. If you are joining us and you're new, feel free to like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. And if you are a returning guest, just like the video, pop a comment wherever it is on here, and we'll try and get to all of your questions whenever we can. However, I am going to put it out there that slander towards the host is not going to be tolerated because it's uncalled for. But Mitch, apart from that, how are you getting on, mate? Been a good week?
Yeah, been an amazing week, actually. I've had a really good one. It's strange to have gone all week without any real news, to schedule a pod with you and then get a free agent signing that the whole franchise wanted to happen the day before. It's kind of a cool alignment of activity just before we came back to talk about potential free agency stuff. Probably the one we would have talked about wanting the most on this pod happened yesterday. So that kind of topped off quite a good week for me, to be honest. It's been a good one.
It was when I was designing the YouTube cover thing for this pod, I had one cornerback in there and then he went, and I thought, you know what, I'll change it for SHAQ Griffin. And that's been sat there all week, ready for me to put up. And then lo and behold, it happened. It's like it was foretold. But less about how we've been, more about what we're going to be talking about. Now, we want to start by introducing our newest partners, the show sponsor. Now, as we all know, being a UK European fan of an American-based team, getting hold of gear can be a very expensive business. Very expensive, with very few channels or outlets to go by. So we have partnered up with a fantastic company that is run by our guest, Pete. And we hope that you all get on board. You really, really get in this, because I cannot wait to see what he can get for us. Without further ado, from our new show sponsor, should we bring in Pete from Flying V Sports, Vintage Sports Clothing. Pete, how are you doing? Welcome to the 12 Talk Pod.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I'm all good, thank you. How are you guys?
Very good.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Yeah. I said it's been just over a week since Mitch and I have done a pod, so we're getting the itch. And it's nice to have you come on as well and sort of start this new partnership. So before we get into what we want to do on the pod, I want you to tell us about Flying V. So there you go. There's the logo for anyone who's not seen it on socials. So tell us, where did it all start from? Where did Flying V come from?
So Flying V started in 2021, and it really came. I was doing bits and bobs of buying and selling just high street clothes for on and off for a few years before that. And my dream was always to get into sportswear. And like me growing up as a youngster and like working and that, like sportswear was always the more expensive sort of thing to buy in and sell than like just high street goods, let's say. But that was always my aim. So when I was working full time and what have you for a few years and got married to my wife and what have you, I thought, right, this is the time. I wasn't enjoying the job I was in at the time. And this is the time I need to start something that I really want to do alongside this job. So COVID hit us in February 2021. I had a bit more time on my hands. I was still working, but I had a bit more time on my hands. I was like, right, what can I name? If I'm going to do sportswear, what can I name my business? I'm a Mighty Ducks / Anaheim Ducks ice hockey fan. Looking back to the 90s, so already looking at sort of vintage era because of where we are now, sort of 30 odd years ago.
Oh, God,
and I just thought, yeah, I know, tell me about it. 1990 was still 10 years ago, right? I just thought, well, wouldn't that be a good, what can I associate with the Mighty Ducks, let's say? And obviously from the film and things like that, and it was the flying V that down the ice, and that's how it came apart, to be honest with you. And I got in touch with my mate, who's a really good graphic designer, Joel, and I said, "Can you drum up a logo for me? First things first." So he did. There was an original logo, and then recently we've upgraded a bit and to this more modern looking logo, and I love it. And a lot of my followers got in touch and said how much they love it as well. So yeah, and then I got my first bit of stock in. Obviously, I've got like a bundle of stuff, and I was trying to source things myself. And it's kind of just gone from there, really. The aim was really to. I remember when I got my first basketball jersey. I went to a Leicester Riders basketball game, and one of my sporting heroes is Kobe Bryant, and I wanted a champion Kobe Bryant jersey, and I got one. I had most of the money. My grandma lent me a little bit of money to get it as a treat, and on top. And I went to the game, bought my Kobe Bryant jersey, a champion jersey. They were like £30 at the time at the game. Look, you're talking sort of 2000, 2001.
So
right?
Inflation has killed that £30.
Somewhat. And this was brand new as well. This was brand new at the time. So I went and I got that. And it was amazing. I absolutely loved it. And so my aim with my business is, one, I want people to be able to afford what I'm doing. So, for example, my aim is to try and keep champion jerseys, for example, from a basketball point of view, or like the older Reebok. I've even had a few Wilson jerseys in, and champion jerseys, NFL jerseys as well. I want to keep them towards that £30-40 mark. I want it to be affordable for the majority. I don't want it to be pricing people out. And that's my aim now, and that'll be my aim going forward, because I want to make more people happy by being able to afford what is, let's get it right, is a luxury because of how things are at the moment financially for a lot of people. Going out and buying a jersey is a luxury, and the prices, I'm going to be honest, the prices I see on Fanatics and things like that, and the stores, the official stores, they're just getting atrocious, to be honest with you. It's absolutely atrocious, the prices that they're charging. And, you know, a lot more people are now turning to the pre-loved and vintage market, let's say. Mm-hmm. And even in that market, I see a lot of inflation. And I just think if I can source my goods at a reasonable price for me, I'm not necessarily going to look at doubling money as a matter of an aim of that. My biggest thing is if I can make someone smile, get a jersey at a good price, make a little bit of money. Let's not get it right. I'm trying to run a business.
That's at the end of the day, yeah.
Yeah, but like I'm not going to get greedy with it. That's not the aim. And I just want people to feel like they've come to Flying V, come to me, buy a jersey, and they're not like bursting the bank to do so as well. And it's just the thought of me putting a smile on someone's face and so they felt, making them feel how I felt when I bought my first Kobe Bryant jersey when I was younger.
Dude, it's also, I saw on your socials as well about you were in Barrow, weren't you, for a market?
I was, yes.
Father and son that bought a jersey each?
Yeah, so I live in a village called Barrow upon Soar, and it's in Leicestershire, and we do some street markets every year, and there's other events going on. I've done a few pop-ups here and there, and there was so basically in the village, I used to run pop-ups monthly, and there was like, I built like a following, let's say, within the village, and now I've got people who come back quite often and message me online, and when I'm doing the street markets and the pop-ups, and they come and they bring their children, and you know, again, like I just touch on like the dad came with his son and the dad bought a jersey, the son had a jersey, and they were just absolutely like the smile on the kid's face when he had got that jersey was just something else. And there was another lad who came and bought a Golden State Warriors jersey. His mum came and bought it for him, and just seeing that is just, and that for me is just, it makes my day. Like making it. It is because one day I hopefully be able to buy my daughter a jersey or something. You know, if she gets into it. But yeah, I remember I bought some Lakers baby grows. I'm a big Lakers fan, basketball, and I bought some Lakers baby grows. Well, and I put them on. I'll be honest with you, I burst into tears. Like it was like a really emotional moment. That's my daughter wearing the team that I support in basketball, and it was just a really nice moment. I couldn't hold back my tears. So I'm really passionate about it.
My daughter's got a wolf grey Seahawks jersey with her name and the day she was born on the back.
Yeah.
She's worn it twice. It's hanging up in her wardrobe, but she says it's too big, so I'm waiting. One day she'll be like,
yeah, well, it'll fit one day, won't it? Yeah.
Exactly. Well, shall we have a quick look for anyone watching on YouTube, just at some of the things that you've got? And some of these may have been sold now, but just to give a sort of a quick review of sort of the things you've got. So you've got a Seahawks sort of full zip jacket there in medium, £25. You've got the Fanatic Seahawks pullover hoodie, another medium, £10. You know, you've got did I see the Mariners jersey had gone?
That's sold, unfortunately. I had two of those, and they sold very recently, like in the last couple of weeks. They're brand new. They're brand new baseball jerseys, Seattle Mariners, just nothing on the back or anything like that. But I sold them at like I think they were £45. Yeah,
I mean, buying online, even if you get a plain one, you're looking at £90. So
exactly, yeah.
You know, and then you've even got the Washington's UW there as well, basketball, the Huskies.
Yeah.
And a small £20. You've got the Sounders jacket. You've got a Gators like jersey there, and that's a large youth, £20. You know, it goes on and on. I mean, everyone can have a look at these. We'll post the link for your website is posted in the description here. I love this Mighty Ducks jersey here because I had that in white.
Yeah.
I went through a stage of having them all, but yeah.
So obviously, being a Ducks fan, I've already got that one. Otherwise, it would not be there. So anything I get in that's like Anaheim Ducks or any of my teams, then I especially in the size large, I get first dibs. No, I mean, what you'll get is you'll get a lot of my jerseys, especially the NFL. I looked to somewhere between, in very good condition, somewhere around £25-30, give or take, if there's like one that's a little bit more special and like rare, let's say. In all the items, there's a description on the condition of it. So anything that I found that to be wrong with it will be written down there, and that's also considered in the price. And the measurements for the items are there as well, because obviously buying online can be sometimes a little bit sort of touch or go, depending on fittings. So the description, the measurements are in the description there to help people out on that. But yeah, the aim is to have a bit of a wide variety of sports. With it not being NFL season, and we're coming up to the hot weather coming into the summer. It is quite basketball heavy at the moment, but I am looking. I have
My
got.
basketball jerseys have been broken out well and truly.
Yeah, so I've got actually right next to me. There's a pile, I would say, of about 50 jerseys there, or items to list. And then in my garage, there's another 2 boxes full of stuff. And I'm also but like between now and coming up to the NFL season, my aim is to try and source a lot more NFL stuff. I did have quite a bit in, but it did sell. So
it will do. It always does. I mean, I look at things like this, and I love a basketball jersey. I've got a Kobe like 24. I've got a larger one, Rockets jersey. I mean, that's my basketball team. But look at that. You know, who's that? Dwight Howard. That's 15
Howard, yeah.
pounds. And then you've got a Mitchell and Ness. I was gutted to see this is sold out.
Yeah.
The Carter jersey for £35, and they're like £90 to £100.
Yeah, they are
ridiculous, man. I mean, this is where hopefully we can get people on there. I mean, let's just have a look as well. Oh, and these are things that you sent me as well. So just to let everyone know who's watching. So every time we get a pod going on, as soon as Pete gets something Seahawks related, he's going to try and keep it off the website until we go live. So you guys will hear about it first. I think these 4 items, so you've got the Seahawks cap, you've got the Action Green hoodie, you've got the Sonics, 2 Sonics jerseys as well. They have just gone live, haven't they?
They have. They should have done. It's the first time I've done this in terms of like putting a schedule on. So yeah, they should have gone live at 9. So yeah, you've got the Kevin Durant. That's a youth large in that one. So if any youngsters out, they do fit a small adult as well, or especially like the females. There's a Sean Kemp Sonics jersey. That's a size XL. I believe the green hoodie is a medium, and the cap is a size 7 in the fitted range there. But I know I've got coming 3 Seahawks jerseys, and there's a couple more non-jersey things as well. I think there's a hoodie, a quarter zip long sleeve sort of sideline top. But obviously now with this partnership, I will be making a conscious effort to try and appease your fans.
You don't have to appease us. It's just a matter of trying to help us. That's all.
It's just like, with the link here, like it's you know, you just getting in touch with me was like a massive thing. Like when I told my best mate, because he's a Seahawks fan, and he was so excited like about it, and just you messaging me like it's and having that chat, it was clear to see for me what our interests and what we're aiming to do with our respective, you know, the podcast and my business. With the same sort of aim is you know, bring a smile to people's faces, give people what they want in terms of their interest, and just fly with it. Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to be associated with you guys. To be honest with you,
I wouldn't have reached out if we didn't want to work with you. I mean, Lord, I think these T-shirts are awesome as well. You with Hades Hockey, you've got your own line there as well. So I may well be dipping in to buy one of those. And when you're talking about helping out our fans, you very kindly offered a discount code, haven't you?
I have. So this is going to be for, well, there's no end to it. Let's say it's if you use code 12talk at the checkout, you get 20% off your order on the Flying Route V website. That's on any item. So yeah, 12talk, the code on checkout, and you'll get 20% off your order. Obviously, if there's any issues that anyone does have with that, when they do, just get in touch with us, and I'll be able to sort you out. But you know, giving out like discounts for the Seahawks fans is the least I can do for you guys helping me out.
No, dude, we really appreciate it. It's awesome. I also noticed a spelling error there. That's what I get for typing things quickly. But yeah, I mean, we're so stoked to be working with you. We hope that we get so many of our fans that are UK based. Oh,
it's disconnected.
He's gone.
He was really offended by your spelling.
It's my spelling mistake is that threw Pete off. But I mean, for anyone who stayed on, he's back now. Look at this.
So what happened there? I don't know what happened there.
I don't know. Yeah,
Sorry?
we thought you'd had enough. I was just
Technology
saying,
there, no technology. What these days? What are we doing? It's you can't trust it, can you?
no, we were literally just saying, like, we really appreciate you coming on board to sort of partner and sponsor the pod. Like anyone who of our fan base like sees it on socials or anything, obviously Pete will send us any new Seahawks gear he gets, and we'll be telling you guys exactly where to get it from. I mean, you can find it on our socials on X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of those good things, and you can follow Pete on Instagram, Facebook. There is an X account, but you don't really use it.
Don't really use X anymore. No, got fed up with that.
That's right. But yeah, by all means, follow Pete. Have a look on the store. Like I said, the link is down below. If there's anything you like, it doesn't have to be Seahawks stuff. Use code 12Talk. And obviously, Pete will know that you come from us, and we can hopefully help everyone grow together. But Pete, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the pod, and we will have you back on, even though you're a Dolphins fan. Pre-season.
Oh yeah, well, we don't need to talk about that, do we, at this point?
Right. On pre-season, we'll have a good old roundtable chat with NFL fans from all over, and we'll see what happens. But from Mitch, thank you so much, and thank you for this 20% off, and we will hopefully go from strength to strength with this, man.
That's the hope. And guys, thank you so much for having me and on the pod. And yeah, this partnership, I feel like we can go far. And a big hello and thank you in advance to all the Seahawks fans that obviously listen to the pod and follow you guys as well. And thank you in advance for any follows, and not just the buying is important to me. It's the follows and the support that means the world to me. It's not all about the buying; it's just that support. So thank you to you all.
I run off the Wayne's World principle, which is they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and so on and so on. That's literally all it needs to be. You share. If you've got a friend who is a fan of an American sports team and you've seen their jersey that'll fit your mate, send them the link and send them Flying V's way. That's it. Done. But Pete, you go and enjoy your evening. Mitch and I have got some Seahawks related stuff to chat there.
Enjoy. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. See you again soon. Bye-bye. See you later.
There you go. And that is our new show sponsor, Flying V Vintage Sportswear. We couldn't be happier to have Pete and Flying V on board. They are a fantastic company. I spend a lot of time browsing through what Pete has to offer and hovering over that buy button, but I'm going to be doing it more and more. So, shall we talk about Big SHAQ?
Big SHAQ. By the way, last time you played music, it didn't come through.
Is this coming through?
No. And it's a shame because it was great.
Gutted. Absolutely gutted. I had Return of the Mac, which was going to be Return of the SHAQ, and I had Big SHAQ, Man's Not Hot or Cute. I'm absolutely gutted.
I'm gutted as well because it was great.
Anyway, Shaquill Griffin's back in town without his brother, unfortunately, who has retired, who is now a motivational speaker, one of my favourite Seahawks players of all time. But Mitch, let's talk about, we speculated about a lot of potential free agent signings at cornerback. There was Rasul Douglas, there was Jalen Ramsey. Thank God that he isn't one of them.
Stephon Gilmore still out there as well.
Stephon Gilmore still out there, and we've there you go. And we have landed back on someone who you could consider a bit of a hometown hero because we drafted him in the third round in 2017, I believe it was. You'll remember the stats. And he's gone around the league, he's come back, and he is ready to be a Seahawk again. He's going to be one of the veterans. I think he is actually the oldest cornerback in this room now, isn't he?
Yeah, he will be. It's a really good one for us. I mean, we didn't necessarily need a 17-game starter. What we needed was veteran savvy, someone who's ready to come in and play when called upon, someone that specializes on the perimeter, just a leader in that room as well, and to be able to look at our depth chart and say, well, if someone goes down, we're equipped to keep the level. That is what he's going to bring us. It's also someone that won a Pro Bowl while on our roster in 2019 as well. And what he's done since, people might have forgotten about him. Some of the the franchises he's played for since leaving us. They're not the household names until he got to the Vikings last year. So it's easy to have him slip off the radar. But he's played a lot of football since he's left us, and his levels haven't dropped dramatically. He's still, I think he's 30, might turn 31 this year from memory.
Yeah, I think doesn't he turn 30 this year?
Yeah, maybe.
He's 29 now, I think.
Yeah, I know he's definitely got a birthday this year.
Weird.
Imagine. So I mean, just to run you through that Pro Bowl season he had with us, it was a 64 tackle season with 14 pass breakups. I mean, 14 pass breakups from someone like Weatherspoon or Woolen or on our roster, you'd look at that and go, blimey, that's an influential player. So just before he left us and got his big payday at Jacksonville, he really did leave us with a really high reputation in the league.
Was that the season with the Griffin on Rodgers sack?
Yeah, I think it was. It was the double, the
yes.
pincer. Yeah, so that was good. I mean, in his time in Seattle, in his 4 years, he played 57 out of 64 games. So he was, always available with 48 PDs in total, 14 in that one season, and 202 tackles. 50 tackles a season. I mean, I know linebackers that won't get 50 a season. So probably ones with good D-lines, to be fair. But yeah, in Jacksonville, his 2 years there, he played 19 out of 32 games, and that's a shame because he was getting paid the big bucks, and he had a back injury that meant that he missed most of one season, but he played the rest of the other season that he was there. Went on to Houston. That season, he got traded to the Panthers, I think, Carolina Panthers. He played 13 out of 16 games that year with 5 PDs. Found his way onto the Minnesota Vikings roster last year. Played all 17 games. I think he started at least 14 out of 17 as well. So he was playing a lot of football there with 6 PDs and 30 tackles. So he joins us off the back of a season where he was relied upon a lot. I think he'll be relied upon slightly less, but at his age, perhaps playing more of a leadership role, a rotational role, probably suits. And I haven't seen the contract yet, but I know that we were offering around veteran.
1 year, 3 million, up to 4 million with incentives. I think I heard on Dan Vienne's Seahawks Forever show earlier.
Nice.
That can be fact checked by anyone in the comments.
Well, I can see Jonas and I think Rich was asking as well about it. We knew that they were offering close to veteran minimum with some incentives, and obviously we took some time to get that deal over the line. So it may well be that he was just playing the market to see what was out there for him. And I think even if we were slightly less than his top offer, I think the lure of coming back might have been a big factor too. So yeah, really, really pleased with that acquisition. It was our biggest, I think, of all the free agents out there. He was the one that really shone as a God. We'd love to have him back. What a good time, and it's such a good fit for what that room needed.
Yep.
So,
I mean, shall we just very quickly shout out Jonas? He's patted himself on the back for predicting the SHAQ pickup 6 weeks ago. Jonas is man, SHAQ Griffin. There you go. Mitch has got Mitch's mem. Jonas, you can have your own. It's fine.
All right, don't start rumours.
Yeah. So, what does that mean though to the depth chart? So, currently, who have we got in that cornerback room? So, you're looking at Weatherspoon, Woolen. You've got your let's have a look. Josh Jobe, Nehemiah Pritchett's still there. You've now got what's his name? Gene Charles.
Gene Charles. Yeah. Obviously, SHAQ Griffin in there now as well.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Zay Alexander out of LSU, who was undrafted, who was widely thought to have a good shot at making this roster. And there's a bunch of other guys in there. I think SHAQ Griffin coming into the room now means that Nehemiah Pritchett, Zay Alexander, Gene Charles, they're all scrapping around on the bubble, because I think
you've got Damarian Williams, Tyler Hall, but I have a feeling they cut Tyler Hall. I don't know why, and Ryan Cooper Jr. is still on there as well.
Yeah, it's for me. Griffin adds something that is missing from that room. It's going to be hard for us to cut a player like that, because I see Job, Pritchett, and Zy Alexander as players with ceilings that they're giving snaps to that, you know, can do a serviceable job. I don't think that's what you're getting from Griffin. I think with Griffin, you've got a proven starter with longevity in the league, veteran experience, locker room presence, someone who's been here and come back. It's a good look for the roster when people are choosing to come back, like Jaron Reed.
Mm-hmm.
To cut players that want to return is the wrong signal to people. Do you know what I mean? To welcome home a prodigal son and then go, actually, just could you leave?
Yeah, I mean,
it's not good.
I mean, Gene Charles Pros has been lighting up at training camp, but it's training camp. There's no pads. You've also then got Isis Waxter, who Brian Nemhauser spoke to us about when he came on the pod, who's another one that we should be keeping an eye out for. But I mean, apart from that, I mean, starting caliber, someone that I would happily thrust in there. You've really only got Job and Griffin, who, in my opinion, are tested. So if Woolen or Witherspoon went out, you've got Job or Griffin. And then
are we both
maybe
feeling like
Ruck.
Witherspoon plays the perimeter a bit more than last year, with having players like Imanori in there?
Yeah, I think that's the plan. I think it's going to be, but I think it could be interchangeable because Imanori could play as some sort of corner as well. I just think we said this on a previous pod. It's a position of worry for me. Obviously, there are still a couple out there that we could bring on. I don't think we will, because Mike has outright said that he trusts his coaching group.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be looking for his coaching group to get the best out of these, you know, the people that are on softball contracts, those that are like UDFAs, you know, hoping that we can train them up to actually fit into this system. But it's still a worry, because all it's going to take is a Reek Woolen or a Witherspoon to go down, and you're left with Joe, Griffin, Waxter, and Alexander.
Yeah,
who's unproven.
Yeah, it's one of the only rooms on our roster at the moment that I'm genuinely concerned about a starting injury to, and unfortunately, corners do get banged up. They're highly athletic players taking hits regularly. You know, there's a lot of stress that goes through their ankles and their knees, and it's just a high chance that is going to happen at some point. Don't want to put don't want to put any jinxes on anybody, but it just is common. So, but we've got other rooms that we can still add to with free agency. We've got the cap to do it. There's some players out there that we could look at for sure. Do you want me to throw some at you?
Before you do that,
yeah,
I think we should give a little shout out to the UK Seahawkers. As anyone who knows, anyone who watches us or has seen us on socials, you'll know that we're the official podcast of the UK Seahawkers. We're very proud of that. If you would like to join the UK Seahawkers, it's £12 for individual membership, £20 for a family of up to 4 at the same address, additional £5 postage if you're outside the UK per membership. You can join by simply sending £12 to ukhawksfans12@hotmail.com. You will get access to a whole host of goodies we get every year. Social events, 10% off at the Pro Shop. Not that you're going to need it now that we've got Flying V Sports on board. You're also going to be eligible for game day field passes if you go over to Lumen. Conditions do apply to that. This is what we got this year. Fabulously presented on Mitch's box. You've got your coasters, your wristband. You have your 21-year anniversary patch and your membership card. And you could be one of these shining happy people here. From our most recent meetup in Glasgow. It was a fantastic night, that as well. However, the journey home wasn't great. And as always, we are proud supporters of the Robbing Cancer Trust. This man here is CEO, Chairman, Toby Freeman. Toby is currently undertaking his big ballsy run. He's just run all the way across Hadrian's Wall. That is the width of England, which is absolutely mental. So far, he has run Colchester Half Marathon, Brighton Marathon, the London Marathon, the well-run Brum in Birmingham, I'm guessing, Colchester Half Marathon, the Great Manchester Run, and he's run the Hadrian's Wall Ultra Marathon, which is 135k. That was done in 3 days. Like, honestly, when sometimes I feel proud to say this man, I've known this man for a long time. He's my friend, and he's appeared in the newspapers. I'm pretty sure he got all over Reddit. I think there were people in the US that had followed him as well from running circles, and he's doing it all whilst
BBC News as well.
There you go, done it all whilst dressed a giant ball bag. And unfortunately, 2 of the graphics that I pulled in didn't work. But you can support Toby. You can find him at Toby Talks Bollocks, I believe, on Instagram. This is what he's currently at. He's already hit his 500k target. He's at 504k so far, and he's still running every day, and he's got more events. However, they are currently sat at 18 grand, and their mission is to try and raise 240k. So if you can support Toby in any way, if you are able to, please hit the link down there with the RCT. You can donate whatever you can afford, and you would really be helping Toby and the RCT save some lives. There you
Very
go.
good.
Love that. Now, Mitch, who else is out there on the open market? Who we were trying to reel in, sir?
Well, unfortunately, as Thomas has alluded to in the chat, what we could really do with is a middle linebacker, and I completely agree. However, when you look at the bodies left on the market for linebackers, that is the most bottom of the barrel I could imagine at this point. However, Mike Mack has shown that if the right player is available for trade, he would do it. And I do think that the solution for us at linebacker is a trade. However, we have still got that frenzy of cuts to happen after pre-season. We know now that the roster has to be cut to down to size from 90. Almost, well, it's not overnight, it's within a week, but some teams do it one day, some teams do sort of 10 at a time. There will be a bunch more free agent linebackers before we start the season, but I don't think we'll have another sort of starting caliber linebacker on this roster unless we trade for one this preseason. I just don't. There might be some players that are on the bubble of getting cut that become shopped out. There are some players coming back from injury this year, like Nakobe Dean, who I'm a huge fan of, that I still think is probably going to be shopped. Mostly because if you look at, since he's had his injury, they've drafted, I think, 3 middle linebackers and some high-profile ones as well. So even if he is fully fighting fit, the competition around him and the level of talent on that Eagles roster, it is deep. So there are some situations like that we could cash in on and bring in a body. But yeah, it won't be through free agency. However, outside linebackers and edge rushers, which you might look at our roster and say isn't a need, I would suggest...
You have an outside linebacker, you do.
I would suggest... a lot of people would agree with me perhaps on this, but we'll see. I think that we need an X-factor edge rusher in that rotation of players. What we currently have are high quality starting caliber edge rushers, the likes of Boye Mafe, the level that Derek Hall put up last year, Chenna Nwosu. These are high quality edge rushers. They're not necessarily game wreckers that can just take control of a game, completely ruin a drive for a team, single-handedly get you off the field when they get red hot. If there is a player out there that we can pick up through trade, that would be amazing. When you look at what's left on the market, there's only one trade. But if there's one player left on this market that potentially could give you something different, it's probably only, well, there's 2, right? There's Von Miller and there's Jadeveon Clowney. And both of those come with a huge pinch of salt. They are the 2 names that will pop out of the list. Their stat sheets may not pop out. However, Clowney had a great year for the Browns. I think 3 years ago, we had a 9-sack season. He played for Baltimore on a really low deal. I think it was about $4 million, with only $1 million guaranteed, which got him a move to Carolina. which was a 2-year, 20 million deal. So he got himself back to the 10 million a season edge rusher category, where he had a 5.5 sack season. I think he played 14 out of 17 games in one of those seasons as well. So he's clearly still fit enough to do it. There is still some production there. He's still someone you have to factor in. And I think as well, when you look at the 9-sack season he had for the Browns, any edge rusher that's lined up opposite Myles Garrett is going to get opportunity. And we saw last year that the way that we were built as a defense created a lot of opportunity for pressures. A lot of those didn't get home for us, but we had a really good pass rush last year. Perhaps someone like that you can weave in might be a good pickup at the right price.
And let's face it as well, like Clowney was he first overall, wasn't he? Selected by Houston.
He was first overall pick. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, he's not a slouch just because he's been, and this is something I echo for everything. It's if you're selected first overall, you are not a bum. You're selected first overall for a reason. Usually it's a matter of you will land in a dumpster fire of an organization. You know, the scheme won't fit you and your skill set, and you have to try, you know, fly in the coop to try and find something better. They may not offer you, you know, the money that you're anticipating. And, you know, Clowney's bounced around. I still think he can do a job. And as Rich puts out, he's already familiar with the building, the culture. I think if the money's friendly enough, it'd be a good pickup. Completely agree. Yeah. And he worked with Mike Mack in Baltimore, didn't he?
Yeah, and he used him quite well. I think what you need to consider in this is that when you look at the best productivity in Clowney's career, it's always been when the edge rusher on the other side is an incredible factor. His first 4 years in the league, he was playing opposite J.J. Watt. His best year in for the Browns was with Myles Garrett. That rush for Baltimore, where he played quite well, was littered with players like Van Noy as well. That they just everyone in and Madubuike had that great year as well. Like I just think that he needs a good supporting cast. Well, this defensive line that we've got is packed with that. If you know when you look at Murphy and you look at Leonard Williams and Jaron Reed, the edge rush rotation, it's full of players that can get after the quarterback. You had Clowney in like that fresh. You can't double team him as well. It was biggest problem when he was on our roster was one, he played through a sports hernia, which will slow anyone down. The second thing, it was a lousy pass rush. It wasn't. He was the player you counter, right? He was the player you factor in. Well, you can't now. He would run riot and be fresh. So anything less than 7 million, I think that's something you seriously have to consider adding.
Yeah.
Brandon,
very. I was going to say very quickly because Thomas did ask a valid question for once. He agrees entirely with Nakobe Dean. Dean would be a great shout. What would you give up for him? Bearing in mind he was drafted in the 3rd round in the 2022 draft.
Yeah.
So how old is he? He's 24 still.
Yeah, he was really young coming out. It was Georgia, wasn't it? He came out. I swear he came out of Georgia.
Yeah.
He was young when he joined the league. So despite having quite a bad injury that he supposedly he might miss some of camp, but I think he'll be fit for the season. Whether or not they ease him back in with all the linebackers they've drafted, I don't know. But what would we have to give up? I think the thing that you need to consider with this is if you trade for a player like Nakobe Dean, you're on the hook for his next contract. Yeah. I think any capital outlay for that move is probably going to hurt you more in the subsequent contract than draft capital. It's one of those deals that I think would be a multiple pick thing. It could be like a 3rd and a 5th. It could be a 2nd and a 6th, or a 2nd and a future. I don't think it's as high as a 2nd. I wouldn't even consider that.
Do you want to know who's on the Eagles linebacker depth chart at the moment? Are you ready?
All right, I've seen it, but go. It's formidable. It's a lot of
Zach Bone, Nakobe Dean still has to start in right. It's a linebacker, but then you've got Joshua Uche, you've got Jeremiah Trotter Jr., who was one of my personal favourites. Jihad Campbell's still there. They've got Smell Molden now as well. Patrick Johnson, Dallas. No one else really after that. But those first 6 that I mentioned,
Yeah,
5 if you take out Dean, they're balling at linebacker. So they could afford to, get rid of one.
If you're gonna shift one, shift the guy that you're not sure, who you're not sure about health. If he can pass a medical, if he comes in the building and passes a medical, happy days. Thomas has said that he's interested in what it would mean for roster space. I think the one linebacker in that depth chart that probably survives is Drake Thomas. I think Drake Thomas, Tyrese Knight, Ernest Jones, and Nakobe Dean would make that 4. And I think the players that would get that cut, Paddy O'Connell potentially then shifts off the roster, and we've got one other name in there.
Josh Ross. Derek Jackson.
Derek Jackson, who a few people are quite keen on as a high upside UDFA, but
potentially Jamie Sheriff as well, if they move them there full time.
Yeah. So in terms of edge rushers, I don't think we lose an edge rusher because we've had 5 on the roster each season, and currently we've only got that if you consider. I'm blanking on the name. From the Cowboys, Tank Lawrence.
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah. So if you consider Tank Lawrence as someone who's gonna rotate onto the edge as well as defensive end, then we've got 5. But we've rolled with 5 with Mike Mack. So and I think Nakobe Dean as well comes in and does multiple things for you. It's a very versatile linebacker. And I think that's kind of what's missing. Like when you look at the 2 linebackers, the 2 middle linebackers, they are fairly strictly middle linebackers, but having a proper off-ball linebacker that can get involved in blitz packages, can genuinely rush as well as stuff the run. It's kind of what we need, that Swiss Army knife in that spot.
I like it. Right, go on. Who else have we got?
So this one might get a few groans, but Brandon Scherf. I know realistically, looking at the roster, there's a lot of talent on that O-line now. What I love the most about the current state of our O-line is it is now built for purpose. The scheme we're going to be running has some genuine fits in there, albeit not proven and no NFL snaps on a lot of them. But Brandon Scherf is a 5-time Pro Bowler, ranked 19th in pass block win rate last year, didn't allow a single sack for the Jacksonville Jaguars last year. Only interior offensive lineman last year that didn't. Only guard. There were centers that didn't. But in terms of guards, he was the only one that didn't. So he ranked first there. So if you're looking to protect Darnold with a free agent pickup, that is a guy that you could pick up. Ranked 97th in run block, though. So with an increased focus on running the ball this year and a new sort of running scheme, that doesn't project well. The money you'd have to pay a 5-time Pro Bowler, potentially, well, I mean, if you just signed him in an earlier phase of free agency, you'd be looking at more money, wouldn't you? We're getting late in that window now. So you'd have to imagine that price tag's come down. But it's a serious player. I mean, he had a few injuries in his 8 years in Washington, but he still managed to rack up 4 17, not 17, there'd have been 16 game seasons back then, but four seasons where he played every game. And in his time in Jacksonville for the last 3 years, he has not missed a game. So you're looking at a rock steady guy physically. You're looking at an extremely experienced guy you could put into that offensive line room, which I think could be really valuable. Mm-hmm. And a guy who you can put in there in pass pro situations that's going to be very reliable at keeping your quarterback vertical. So I can see value to that. Don't think it happens because I don't think the scheme fits great. And when you look at the money you'd have to pay for that scheme fit, not sure. But those are certainly the 3 names. I mean, Shaquill Griffin's obviously signed now, but prior to this show, Shaquem Griffin, Clowney, and Scherf were the ones that popped out for me.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, they were sort of the main ones that I wanted to look at today because I think they are positions of need. I really like your comment on Nakobe Dean. Inside linebacker is something that we need to strengthen. I mean, you can have all the faith in the world in your coaches, but there needs to be some talent there as well. I'm not saying that Patrick O'Connell isn't talented. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, Josh Ross may not be talented. You know, Drake Thomas is floating around the practice squad or he's on the 90-man roster all the time. But I think there needs to be an injection there of some real class. And I think Nakobe Dean enough of that. He was the Dick Butkus Award winner. No, whilst was at Georgia, which I think says a lot. You know,
it's another defensive Swiss Army knife, isn't it? As well, like someone that you can line up in a lot of spots. Mike Mack will like that.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I mean, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's tuned in. If you are watching and you haven't yet, if you could click the like button down there. It's a little click for you, massive help for us, helps the algorithm thingy. And if you haven't yet, if you could just favour, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell your friends. We really appreciate that because every like and subscription helps with our reach and it helps us reach more and more Seahawks fans to give them the platform to come on and talk Hawks. And also, if you would like to join the Discord, Master of the Discord is right here. Link is down below and it may get popped in the comments as well, and you can come and talk Seahawks with us and Seahawks fans from all around the world. We're in there every single day and we absolutely love it. The people we've got in there, the people that have joined us recently have been brilliant. And then, you know, you can talk Hawks. You will also get the priority viewing of any new listings that are Seahawks or Seattle Sports memorabilia from Flying V. And you can head over to their website, use code 12Talk and you get 20% off. The prices are already cheap, but another 20% is fantastic. So massive thanks to Pete, massive thanks to Flying V for coming on board and sponsoring the show. We really appreciate it. And, you know, without sounding too much like Bane, everything we have, we give unto you. That's all we want. We want partners that will help you guys. And Pete at Flying V is 100% committed to that. So I want to say thanks to everyone who's joined, to Thomas, to Maxi who's just joined us, to Rich, to Jonas, to Stuart. You guys, we really appreciate you coming on board. And when we finish this, if you want to, like I said, like, share, leave a comment, tell your friends about all this, follow us on our socials. It is all greatly appreciated. But Mitch, that is basically it from me. Have you got anything you'd like to finish on, sir?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
I'm good.
Nice
yeah.
One. All right. Well, from me, from Mitch, I just want to say thank you very much. We'll be back in maybe a week's time. Let's see what news may come about or what we decide to talk about with your input. If you want to come and join us on the show, get in our Discord, slide into our DMs, and we will happily book something in the off season. Until next time, go Hawks.
Go Hawks.